What is a bit how we arrange that? So we want to have a quick overview summary, which you already hopefully know about the timeline, the objectives, so nothing new on that. Then we go a bit round table. So I don't know if every potential project is available. We'll be switching. So let you everybody raise your voice. And then, of course, we go into the most important part, your first questions on functional level, technical level that we want to do. There's an open space, so depending how much questions that we have, how much things that we can ask. And then we end up the session, of course, into the next steps and the milestones. So going into that, but of course, you can always ask questions on that topic too. So we have 1 hour and a half that we have together, depending how much questions that we have. It's up to you, of course, to fill in the session. Okay, so quick summary, nothing new. You know that we are in this together to have that joint journey where the different parties from the ministries, the universities, to the students, to the verifiers that will be the companies, how to construct that journey together with you, but also together with the other people that were already engaged in wave one, that we have a real showcase this as if with diploma can build a journey supported by EBSI that can have a real business case implemented and real supported. That is our space. And we hope that we have, as mentioned in the aspect, different parties filling in the different roles and working together, of course, in a cross-border interaction. As you know, and we explained in the last webinar, that is our main goal. And it's up to us to decide how we can see each other's role in that. And each party will have, of course, his main advantages in this. We have already also proposed you in the last session a collaborative path with some deadlines, with some sprints. So we are now currently in the discovery phase. So we have given you access to a lot of information. We know there's a lot of information. We hope that you have the time during this month and next month to explore that information, understand better use cases, align it with the other ones, so that we in September go into the design phase, a joint design phase where your project initiatives and objectives can be arranged to what we expect. Later on, we move on to a kickoff and then enter in a build phase to, in November, of course, go into the showcase. That is a timeline, but that will be also one of the things that we will discuss today. How much is the timeline aligned with your objectives and your timeline, of course? Yeah. Are there differences? Do we need to adjust certain things? But that is a proposed thing from our side. So you see that different, but is also available in the wiki. So we are currently today in the discovery phase, as mentioned. So we had the webinar, which is you can still watch and is recorded. We had a brief summary. We have the Q&A session. I was more presentation on the aspect. And then today at 6th of August, we have now the Q&A session. And we'll propose another session on the 24th, also to raise your other questions. Maybe the insight that you have today, the insight that we'll have in the next session. And of course, try to see with the delivery that we want to the end of the discovery phase and go into the design. As mentioned before, some of you are already working on the identification template, and thanks for that. We're gonna go much more in details in the next months and go, of course, in the last session. And hopefully, as an objective, of course, have you a clear view. So that's a bit the brief summary of what our plans were, our indication were, and where we are, of course. What we would like to do now, and that is, I think, the most important part, and I will let maybe Louis guide that. Is that okay for you? You have the overview of the things that we have. So it's a bit of round table. We'll invite you. I don't know if every potential project is here present, but it's not a problem. Share your first impressions, how you've seen the filling of the template, the concerns on the timeline expectations, the understanding specific information, or are you getting inspired or more getting lost in all the information? So it's a round table. It's not, we have another part that coming in the moments where we have more Q&A session, you can save your question on aspect, but just about like raising the voice of every project and letting that know. No? So maybe Luis, you can go into project and then invite everybody. Try to give a few short impressions on their status, if that's okay, Luis.
Yeah, let me maybe, sorry, maybe just to be sure that we ask to everyone. Let me open the template, the way to share my screen. Maybe?
Yeah, maybe. Then we have an overview. Okay. Then stop sharing mine.
Okay. Hope you can.
Sorry, just to mention, because we forgot, sorry, Zaira, we always forget. This session will be recorded, of course, to have the possibility of people not attending being on holiday. I hope that is not a problem for anybody. If needed, you can switch off your screen or whatever, but we want to have this screen recorded. Zaira, it was already recorded, I think.
Yes, I started from the beginning.
Sorry, sorry for that non-consent GDPR-wise consent. So post-reactive consent in that.
No problem. But if anybody have an objection of being recorded, please let me know.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's move forward. As Daniel said, one of the first things that we can ask you to do is just to fulfill the forms. For that, remember on planning this scene on the wave 2 and the identification of new early adopters, we created a generic template that can be just copy and paste, or I think also we also created one for each of the initiatives that we're aware of. If we have missed someone, please tell us. But I think that this is a generic template. You just can copy and paste this with your own title. And if it was created before, you just need to fulfill the template. So let's go one by one. Okay, I think that someone from the Administració Oberta de Catalunya is present here, at least Miquel, maybe. And you started to fill the template, yes, right? I don't know what's your status. You want to comment? The status of
Danny, are you there? Danny Martinez.
Hi, Santi.
Yeah,
okay.
I'm going to explain. Yeah, we have filled the template and we don't have any kind of problem discovering the functionalities that we would like to develop and implement. In fact, we would like to provide some kind of decentralized identity solution for municipalities in order to supply social benefits for citizens. That's or perhaps we have a question, but it's not related with the template, which is if there is there any kind of documentation or more detailed material in order to provide to our developers to know how to implement the things that we would like to do. Is the only question.
Okay. Just for clarification, I am just following the templates just to be sure that we will ask to every initiative if they have started to work on the project on the first two phases, if they have access, all the members have access to the early adopters space, and if you have started to do the setting the scene and entering the scene to familiarize with the existing documentation, just to be able to see, okay, how my project could be deployed with specific capabilities, and just to start thinking on that. It's not just a review of, okay, when you have filled this and not that. It's not just that. It's just to be sure that we ask to all the initiatives if you have started to work on that, if you have troubles, if you have, because this is a Q&A session, so yes, if you have questions, please ask the questions.
But
if you
your
can provide
question on the how the developers need to start, I think we'll take that question in a moment in the technical session. Alan is present,
Okay.
and we have something that will be interesting for you on the demonstrator for the developers. So Alan, that's something that we'll cover in a moment.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
But
but just to let you know, I think that you have seen that, but in any case, in setting the scene and entering the scene, you have more deeper technical
yeah,
information about things. But as Daniel said, let's wait for the technical track to ask for technical questions. So that's so you have to start to fill the template. You have to start to familiarize with the EBSI concepts and capabilities.
yeah.
And you have
Okay.
to work on that.
Okay. Thank you, Luis. Danny, do you have any other question?
No, well, we have to say that from the point of view, functional point of view, we understand how the function, the way of EBSI works, and it's okay for us, and we know how we can use this the system in order to provide the functionality that we would like to provide.
Mm-hmm.
That's okay, and well. The information filled in the form is trying to explain this.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Danny. Okay, let's move forward. I don't know if there's someone present from the UFE Universities Alliance, the European University Alliance on UFE. I don't know if there's some. Let me see. Maybe the list of assistants. Okay.
No, I don't think that somebody is present. Maybe I can jump to the next one.
So let's jump to Una Europa, another European University Alliance. Someone present from Una Europa?
Yes, good morning. I'm Jan de Cagie from KU Leuven. We filled in the form partially. The last 2 weeks, in my time not doing other things, I've been reading the information from the wiki. We will implement our proof of our POC with the Gattaca components. Normally, we will start installing these components the 16th of August. I have received information from you how to register us as a trusted issuer, and that we will do it as soon as the components are installed. We have defined the business steps of our proof of concept, and we will work it out in the next couple of weeks as my colleague Ellen LaRouche is back on Monday. That's in short. It's a lot of information, and I also read a lot of the technical information from Gattaca, and that comes more or less. It's more or less an implementation of the different APIs specified on the wiki.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, maybe to add to that, Jan, because we had some other conversation on this from your side, and I also want to reach out to the other ones. There was also a question. Okay, your setup. How does it is in combination with the setup of Spain or the setup of the Netherlands? And we'll go into that in detail specific for you. But there's also something open for other aspect. If you are thinking about the setup, it's a bit pre-design phase, but we can always go into with a few technical people, try to see how we can arrange that before you go into that. So that's something that we'll be discussing with Alan, but other people that have plans, more concrete things, but are uncertain if certain things fit exactly in the EBSI context, please reach out and we can look at it at the individual basis beyond this general Q&A session.
Okay, thank you, Jan. Let's move forward. From Eckhart, I don't see Colin. Anyone of his team is present here? I think not. Okay, so let's move to France. Someone from the Popcorn project?
Yes. So, hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, okay. Yeah, so I'm Anne-Cécile Bourget-Davron. I don't know if you can see me. Okay, yeah. So the Popcorn project is about legalization, apostille, and translation. So how to make sure that a document that has to go abroad is valid in a foreign country, and so through blockchain. So the Popcorn application, the software is already it's built through our company. We have companies using Popcorn right now, and what we want to implement is with the Ministry of Education here in France, with Perrine de Couette-Logon and Luc also, who's from BC Diploma. We'd like to make sure that diplomas that go abroad, if they have to have a certified translation, if they have sometimes to have an apostille or legalization in certain countries, will be recognized digitally. So it's to allow digital process. So just started. I'm sorry, just started to fill out the form, but not enough. So I'll make sure for the next session that there's more information, and we'll also revert to Perrine and Luc to make sure that they fill out also their part.
Maybe Anne-Cécile, I think that Spiros has also reached out to you. Spiros is the convener for the document traceability. I think.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Spiros, yeah, we've been working together. Yes,
okay.
yes, absolutely.
Because specific
but
for you.
Not this week, so I don't know.
Okay. No, but he will be also reaching out extra to you because the template is specific for SF and Diploma.
Yeah.
And the document traceability aspects are not that well here covered. So together with you, he will be trying to see how can the information that you will provide best be structured, because for document traceability there will be so no problems. Maybe
Thanks
that's the best that you don't have filled in the things, because for your case there will be a bit specific aspect. So other people also looking at this, please be aware that we'll be adjusting the template for those use cases covering that other. I don't know if Spiros is present in this session. Sire, I don't think that he is here.
No, he's not.
No, okay, no, but he will reach out to you to discuss this. Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks, Cecilia. Let's move forward. Someone from the Netherlands, from Social Region in Europe. There are several projects from Netherlands. Yeah, right, Daniel?
Indeed, this is something from the TU Delft, if I'm correct. I don't know if Johan is available or somebody from his team. No.
No.
Apparently not.
From Netherlands. Okay, so let's move forward. From the ID Union from Germany. Someone present today? No one?
No, apparently not.
Okay, so let's jump to Lithuania and the DLT node. I don't know. Greta is... Hello?
Indeed, there is present from Lithuania.
Okay.
I'm not sure if Greta is present, but I will introduce what we will do in our case. We have attracted our national university KTU. Thank you, Louis, for your clarifications. It helped a lot to motivate the university. So we are on our initial steps right now, and our main focus is the diploma use case. Although university sees that we should not start directly from the diploma as well-known document like a bachelor or master degree or something. Instead, we will try to start from informal education certificate or something that it is something that is not heavily regulated by law, because otherwise we will end up in changing laws and also lots of interaction with lots of ministries here. So right now we have identified our single point of contacts, deputy contacts, etc., and we are working on the description of our project and also evaluating how much efforts we will need, or at least KTU will need these systems. So
okay, thank you, Jonas.
I hope we will have more information soon. One question, a small question. Yeah. Is it okay to try out diploma use case using informal education certificate, or do we need to use bachelor diploma, master degree diploma?
No. I think that if you provide some samples of the exact education that you want to accreditate, we can translate it to the Europass learning model. And that's what will be done. For example, in Spain, there are 2 universities that will issue an accreditation for digital competencies for DICCOM, for the framework, DICCOM framework, things like that. So that's I think there should not be any problem to do it. Just if you can provide some example, some existing example, we will be able to analyze it and translate it to JSON and provide the samples to you.
Okay, sounds great. Because we're not saying that we will not try out bachelor diplomas, master diplomas, but you know, it's a more heavy document. It's heavily regulated by national law. So yeah. Let's start from something that it is easy and it's more dependent on KTU itself, not on our national laws. So that's our approach in this way.
Don't worry about that. Makes sense.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, Jonas, thanks to you. Okay, so let's move forward. I don't know if someone from Croatia is present.
Mirko is here.
Mirko. Mirko.
You're still muted, Mirko, or we don't hear you.
No, I don't know if I can't see the micro.
No. He's trying to reconnect, I think. Maybe jump to another ones and then try to see.
And then we go back. Mirko. Okay, I don't know if someone from Malta is also present here today. Malta or from Highland as partner. No one? Okay, so let's for the input. Mirko?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Gianluca Marcos from InfoCert. I'm participant in Impulse, and today I can present what we did on the form. We started to fill it. We described our project. It is an Horizon 2020 project about electronic identification authentication system based on self-sovereign identity and artificial intelligence to allow access to public administration services. We will develop 6 case of studies in 5 countries, Spain, Italy, Denmark, Bulgaria, and Iceland. And up to the form, we just start to define some rule for the qualifier trust service provider. We are internally discussing in our project to define the best option to show in the form. And about the timeline, as we already shared with you, with EBSI, and we will follow the Horizon 2020 timeline, and we should maybe update this form with our specific timeline to arrive to join you. That's all. I am Gianluca Marcos, and I will be the deputy contact for the project. Today, Jaime Lurero is not join us for holiday, but he will be in the next step. That's all. We have just no question for the moment.
Okay. Gianluca, you had a meeting last week, I think, or a week before,
exactly.
to tackle your questions were all raised. You had some also, so.
We already took, I will say this, we already take some technical question from the opportunity that you gave us next week with to join wild.it to have information from them, and now we are impending from them to have some documentation and source code and information more about their management and their layer. So in this period, we will study again more documentation from EBSI, waiting them in the end of August. Indicatively, they say us this. So in the end of August, we will have some material more from them to study.
Okay, and there's something for my understanding, Kevin or Ellen, that you will provide on the technical level. Ellen, maybe speak out or reach out, or Marc-Antoine.
Yes, please feel reach out if you have any questions.
Yeah. Okay, thanks.
Thanks, Alan. Okay,
Can
think
you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, can we get back to crash case?
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
See, great.
Well, first off, we will need to come up with a shorter name. Okay, and then secondly, yes, we've been in talk with Gattaca, and Irene said that our best way forward would be to kind of integrate with the Una Europa, and also Luis, I have sent you an email to clarify our cooperation, and we are in talks with Malta to also accept the credentials from them. Currently, our plan is only to accept credentials, but we are also currently working to expand our pilot to also issue credentials. And the second question would be for the document traceability use case. That is our second pilot with the Croatian financial agency. Will there be any with that use case in mind? Seems to be kind of in a state of limbo as of now.
For the document traceability, I will write it down. Ask Spiros to reach out to you directly, because they will cover it not in a journey but in an individual base. So I will ask them to reach out to you and your financial department to check this as well.
Yes, and our only question from our dev side is is there any documentation, source code examples, and if not, will they be provided, and if yes, when? So those are just kind of the only questions that I'm getting at my side. Yeah.
Okay, perfect, Mirko. That is also a bit a question that Danny had in a moment. So I will give Alan in a moment the floor to give into what we have already published as demonstrator and source code. So Alan is already prepared for that. Okay,
thanks.
Perfect.
Okay, thanks, Mirko. Let's move forward. I think that, the 2023 was done. So Greece, someone from Greece?
Yes, hi. So unfortunately, I didn't have the time to fill in the templates because the team has been very busy with the COVID certificate. So it's the same team that is working on the COVID certificates. But the plan is that what we have started working inside the Greek project Ledger is to extend the system that we already have for verifying credentials and put it into EBSI. So we expect to come back to this until the end of the August, and then you will also fill. Then you will also see the template field. We don't have any questions to this point. Okay, so that's fine with that.
Thank you, Panos. Perfect. Follow-up? Now from Bulgaria, someone person.
Hello, I'm Jordan. We are at the initial stage of the EBSI project, and we have partially completed the form. We're going to work on the ID and traceability projects.
Mm-hmm.
Just a small question. Is it okay if we leave out some of the fields open for when you have clearer view, or you have to fill them all for the deliverable?
No. just to this is just also to guide you on the things that you should be aware of when identifying how to deploy your project over EBSI capabilities. So it's just some things are just for contact, that's all, okay? And some things are related if it applies to your project, to your use case, just fill it. If not, of course, you don't need to fill everything, but it's just a guidance for you to see, okay, are the key points being taken into account? Yes, no, and also for us to say, okay, maybe if we identify that you have filled something and you have missed something that depends on that, we can also contact you. Okay, guys, you are also taking this into account? Yes, no, and so on. But that's the point, okay?
Okay.
Okay, and so you have no specific question till now, but you also have the time to to move forward to
Yes.
into the deeper into the documentation and also take benefit of what Alan will explain in a minute to see, okay, how from a technical perspective we can also accelerate things due to the things that EBSI has been able to provide.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Jordan. Let's move forward. So someone from Cyprus. Present here today.
Hello, yeah, my name is Andreas Chrysafis from Cyprus.
Okay.
Unfortunately, the project coordinator is on leave here, and the government employees are also on leave. So I don't know if they completed this document and they haven't shared it with you, or they are still working on it. I will send them an email to check the status. We are the technical implementers of this project, our team. And our technical lead person, Yorgos, had a number of questions about the integration and the use of the EBSI, whatever. We got some answers, I think, last week about that. I don't know if we are still missing some answers. I will check with them. And I will let you know, but I will certainly follow up the completion of this form because it's very important to have this updated. So I don't know, do you have a contact detail to whom this was sent?
Yes,
So that I can follow up because there was a change also with the contact point within the government because now it's under the Deputy Ministry of Innovation, Research and Innovation. And Iria, who is a lady that was handling this, has recently moved to Brussels, but she said she will still be handling the project. And I don't know if it was sent to her or to somebody else that I need to follow up.
Okay, I will share my email right now in the...
Yes, if you can share the email to me and I will follow it up.
Just please, I will share my email right now. Please send me an email and I will reply privately saying, okay, this was sent to this and this person.
Okay, all right, that's cool, that's fair. That's
okay,
fair.
and we also check maybe, Zaira, what kind of official contact point of a SPOC that we have for this project.
Yeah, I know the project coordinator is Nikos from Dalos, but also the contact point in respect to the government is Iria Logaido, that she's now in Brussels. But all right, send me, please share. I will send to Zaira an email to if it's better, so that I can coordinate.
Yeah,
perfect.
All right. Apologies for this, for not being, delivering on time or whatever, but
no, the timing is, to be clear, is end of August. This is just a
okay.
partial.
No, I understand,
no
but
worries.
it's good to have. Also, as I mentioned, our technical person, Yorgos, had a lot of technical questions that they were answered, I think, last week. So I think we will be moving forward. The team here will have meeting the last week of August, because now you understand everybody's on the beach.
Yeah.
I don't know. So I mean, everybody in Cyprus, everybody comes back to work 23rd of August onwards. So from that last week of August, we'll plan to have a meeting to coordinate, and certainly give us a time to complete the form on time by the end of August.
Perfect, Andreas. Thank
All right.
you.
Thank you. Apologies, and
No
have a
problem.
nice day. Yeah, I will be staying on the call. Let's proceed.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, no worries. Okay, from Finland, from the microblog. I don't know if someone is present today.
Yeah, hello, this is Henri Pirkkalainen, the principal investigator of Microblog, and sorry on our behalf as well. So Finland, it's always July is the vacation month, so we just have returned from vacation. So it will still take a few days for us to fill this wiki, but we will do it ASAP. So yeah, Microblog it's a CEF funded project with the Finnish Ministry of Education and Finance, so it's looking into the how to utilize EBSI for micro credentials, and we especially link this to the European University Alliance ECU cross-border activities, where micro credentials are issued directly to users on or learners on wallet systems, and we are already in talks with BC Diploma for the use case here and for piloting. And I think at this point we don't have particular questions in mind, so we have some people from our technical part of the project here as well, and I think when we proceed in the next couple of weeks, we'll let you know if there are some direct requests, but we will fill this ASAP.
Thanks.
Okay, please do it. If you have questions, please reach us. We'll glad to try to give you the right answers.
Thanks.
Okay. Okay, from Italy, blockchain for Italy. I don't know if someone is present here. Maybe not Pietro. Pietro is on holiday, I think, and someone else from Italy. Not. Okay, so let's move forward. From Luxembourg, from the EBSI Lux project.
Yes, hello. This is Eric Weber from the Ministry for Digitalization in Luxembourg. So we are 4 partners who have created a project to issue digital diplomas in Luxembourg into a wallet and connect it to ASIF identity. I must say that I learned about the template today. So somewhere in the communication process on my side, or this must have been lost. But it's probably it shouldn't be a problem to catch up on filling out the template. My main question is to understand. I mean, we have participated in the CEF Telecom call and we have proposed planning in the grant agreement that has quite different timelines to the timelines that are proposed here. So my question is there a request to try to replan the project and align, or yeah, how should we proceed?
Maybe we can take that question, but I will pass it over. Maybe Pierre, also present here. Can you say something about it? I think Margaret is not present. Pierre,
I think
are you there?
Hello, Daniel. Sorry, I was on mute. I follow the discussion, but I was on. What do you like me to address?
No, Eric from Luxembourg had a question about his in the CEF. He's the CEF Telecom project. They proposed their a timeline that has been accepted, but now we are from within this early adopters approach proposing in a different timeline. So his question was how he needs to proceed to arrange those timelines.
Yes, I mean our objective is of course to facilitate your work and that you take the benefit of this multi-university pilot in the early adopter program, and we are going to liaise with our colleagues from the agency, who are your counterpart for managing the different contracts through the CEF program, in order to facilitate the fact that you can align your timeline with what is doable in this context. So I don't think that it will be a blocking point and we will facilitate the things in order for you to have a new timeline to be validated by our colleague from the former INEA agency, which is now called the ADA agency. Is it clear?
Yeah, I think from your side it's clear. I think now if this option is on the table, we first have to discuss among partners if that's realistic or what it will have as an impact, and then we have to see how we can align it. Because for the moment, over the last weeks and since March, we were following the way our project was planned. But of course, we know that things are changing, opportunities are coming up. So we should evaluate if it's an opportunity to change our plan and have maybe more interactive exchanges with the other countries, because that's definitely for us the cherry on the cake if we can exchange diplomas that are issued in our projects and verify diplomas from other projects. So we have been in contact over the last weeks also with France and Austria and some of the providers. So these exchanges are very helpful for our project. But yes, in terms of aligning goals and timelines, we are not synchronized for the moment, at least.
Okay, but I mean, we will, as we say, we will. Our aim is to facilitate this process. I mean, we want as many countries to participate in this early adopter program and multi-university pilot, and of course, we want to leverage on the contract that we have signed under the CEF program. So we'll do our best to facilitate the things, and I have no doubt that we can succeed in this endeavor. So no problem. We'll get our support for it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Pierre.
May I also just to add, Eric, if you see that the timelines are very adjusted, you can also see if maybe your timeline for the CEF core project is in 2022 or something like that. But maybe you can accelerate some steps of your journey to be able to align in some points of the wave 2. So that's also one possibility.
I don't know if other CEF projects had a bit the same structure. Have you already identified which steps we would need to accelerate?
So sorry, to reduce the scope. So for example, in Spain, we have also the scope, and we have a timeline that will end, I don't remember, maybe it's on May 2022 or something like that, or September. But what we have done is to reduce the scope of the CEF core project with some steps that will be done right now in the wave 2. So the CEF core project maybe is more extended. The scope is greater than the points that we will deploy in the wave 2.
Spain did that, but I think Austria did also the same, because they had also the CEF, and Marcus is also in the call, where they have had some actions that they have now been thought on in the wave 1. Maybe Marcus, if you're available, maybe you can also reach out how you have rearranged your CEF project in this.
Yes, it's been similar for us. Our CEF timeline and our grant agreement was also a little bit different from what we have here now with the EBSI Early Adopter program and the cross-border pilot. But in our case, it's not that different. It's not incompatible. So our CEF project is planned to go on until the end of the year, which I think is also sufficient to cover the cross-border pilot here in the early adopter program. So for us, so we rearranged a little bit, but it wasn't that much of a problem.
Okay, but that's just, Eric, if you have trouble with the resources. Huh? If not, go ahead.
Okay, and Pierre will give you more context on how
Yeah.
to specifically do that. Huh?
Okay.
And of course, like Eric also mentioned, I try to use each other. I think you have now a bit of an overview. We have still a few to go, an overview of what the focus is. And I'm very happy to hear that some of you have already reached out to each other to see how we can align, not only on university, on business level, but also interesting solution that some of you have mentioned Gattaca, which will be used. You have also things that have been in the Justin case with Marcus wage, we use as many components as you wish. So, and see.
Okay. Any other question, Eric? Not, we'll move forward.
No, I mean, just to confirm what Daniel just said, we are in the middle of looking at the different components that we can reuse. And so, yeah, we are doing some calls in all directions and try to understand what are all the components we need and how they can talk to each other. Because, yeah, there are some questions about which wallets will eventually support EBSI and which not. That's not necessarily easy to find out.
No, that's not easy. I really is that, and it's something that several companies are working on that. Basically Diploma, to mention one, is something that is gradually going to be EBSI compliant. EBSI compliance is also not a term really determined at this moment, so it's an evolution. So it's a road that we are building together. But I see a lot of dedicated vendors that are open to collaborate and help you in this. But it's up to you to decide, okay, for your specific context, what is the best. So not push you anything.
We got one interesting reply that was, yes, we will support EBSI if it converges with IDA's proposed wallet. So
Indeed,
that's
indeed.
a tough nut to crack. So
indeed, that is something
we want to land there at some point, but it's not for tomorrow.
No, because the IDAS compliant wallet is still very, very open. We try to influence that, inspire those things. I've maybe have seen Spain and Germany have now also reached out and find an agreement that they will build that specific German and Spanish wallet in the IDAS compliance, but also SIF and SSI compliant. So that is a positive way, but it's something that the nation need to determine. That's not clear at this moment. So still work in process, and that one of the most important aspects of that early adopters is to also showcase the IDAS community that these things are working, that this is not just a gimmick, but something good, and then they take it in consideration. So it's a bit chicken and egg story, but we hope that we'll find in the next half year, more clearance on this.
Yeah, Daniel, if you allow me, I would like to stress what you have just said, that indeed, for the time being, this EU gas wallet is not existing yet, and that the early adopter program is indeed to be considered as a way to demonstrate that through blockchain approach and the EBSI in particular, we can contribute to it. So it's also an opportunity for all of you to participate to this bigger ambition, which is to provide a new e-identification scheme all across Europe. So that's why it's another reason to insist on the importance of the early adopter program.
Okay, thanks, Pierre. So if you don't have any other questions, Eric, we'll move forward. Someone from Romania?
Hello, everyone. I am Carmen Holotescu. I'm the deputy contact for this program. My colleague Cosmin Cioranu couldn't participate today. Like Eric said before, and following the previous conversation, for us, we have many other activities and scenarios for our project of 2 years, but participating in this early adopters program help us in accelerating the implementation for our system for diplomas and micro credentials. For this project, we work two research organizations, an important research organization in Bucharest and also Polytechnica University of Timișoara. Besides the implementation of a system to issue diplomas and micro-credentials for different formal and informal programs, we have also set up already an EBSI node, and we started to implement some MOOCs related to blockchain in order to provide more knowledge on this technology in Romania. But now, coming back to this program, we already contacted the colleagues from France. Perrine is one of my very close collaborator, and we'll work together for the cross-border exchange. And also for this month, we want to pilot the issuing of micro-credentials for some training programs we offer at Polytechnica University, and also for some other exchanges with other universities abroad. And also I want to test how the companies in Romania, for the beginning, will accept the proofs of training of programs issued on EBSI. So these are our plans.
Okay, perfect. So if you have any questions, please let us know. And
yes, I have a question. In fact, two questions. Here at the beginning is a case related to database of external quality assurance results.
Yeah.
Do you plan here to involve all the quality institutions from the member states?
Okay, here you mean this, right? The database. Okay, this is the ECAR, the ECAR entity. Has also has also made an appointment to be in wave 2. So this is something that we had 2 meetings with them, and they are planning to evolve their existing information systems to be able to issue verifiable accreditations for higher education institutions. So they will act as a trusted accreditation organization for those higher education institutions that will allow them to play the role. That's something that will be explained in the diplomas use case that will be held in the 17th of September. It's the 17th, Friday. But this is the proposal, their proposal. So ECAR contacted us and they filled the form. And what they want to do is just that. It's just act as a trusted accreditation organization for all those higher education institutions that will agree them to play that role.
Okay.
That's it. That's the basis. But yes, they are involved, and I think that it's a great opportunity for all higher education institutions. But that's something that we must share to member states and must be agreed and endorsed by member states, of course.
Okay, thank you. Another short question. What is the meaning of TQSP? It's in the template.
Sorry.
It's
well, I guess that's a mistake for QTSP, Qualified Trust Service Provider.
Okay.
Yes, thank you. That's
okay.
a mistake.
Okay, thank you. And a kind proposal, I don't know if it's feasible or not. Maybe in order to come with a new use case for diplomas, maybe the group of the teams participating in this early adopters program, maybe the teams could receive some certificates on EBSI specifying their participation in this program. Maybe this could be a good idea to put EBSI on work.
Yeah, but that's something indeed. And maybe, Zaira, we can mention certain things. We want to have a bit of campaign on what we are doing together, so give you some airtime. This is still in progress. I'll be thinking on two tracks, giving you as project coordinators also some in a campaign to see, okay, you are participating, you are an early adopter, and also maybe also reach out to certain vendors or solution providers that they also can have a compliance. I don't know, Zaira, if you're able to already say something or share something, or Pierre, on that campaign we are thinking. I think Carmen is referring to that. Zaira, if you're
So
comfortable in this. Yeah.
we're still discussing the planning and how we're going to proceed with it. So when that is finalized, we can share more information. But for now, stay tuned, follow us, and you will find more information later on.
And we'll, of course, I reach out to you to, if you are able and willing to do that, to participate in things. So maybe some testimonials or certain things, but as I mentioned, still in discussion, but certainly thinking about those kind of things.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Just to complement what has been said, indeed, it is our intention to launch such a communication campaign from September on, and of course to give visibility to you as a first contributor to this early adopter program. So it's as said by Zaira and Daniel, we are still refining the approach, but our intention is to give visibility to all the contributors to this early adopter program.
Okay. Any
Thank
other
you, Carmen.
question? If not, we'll move forward.
Oh, thank you, thank you.
Thanks to you. Okay. From Slovenia, someone present today? Not.
Other project that we haven't listed up and that you are here present and that we forgot you. Sorry for that if that's the case. But are there other project present that you don't see any listed up? Please reach out. You have not included the wave one, of course. That is the other ones.
Sure.
Other projects that are not included that we forgot. No. Okay.
So
thanks. Then we can close this round table. Thanks for the first impression, and also thanks for the first work, of course, that you have already submitted. It was not an obligation to have already the template filled in, but you just wanted to know what the status of the different projects are, if you're encountering problems, if you have done. So thanks for those kind of things. If it's okay, and we don't have any question on that, I would like to move to the open Q&A session. But I will already take one question that Mirko and also the colleagues from AOC have raised out is about the demonstrator. And I think also Jan from Kai Leuven have mentioned that. So maybe Alan or Marc-Antoine, I don't know, or Regina, because we have recently published or going to publish something that we have called the demonstrator. And I think that will be addressing potentially a lot of questions. So I don't know, Alan, Marc, Antoine, or Regina, do you want to, or Robert, I see you pop up, so I'll take you. Maybe go into that demonstrator aspect.
Good morning, everyone. So in regards of the technical means and how to consume APIs, we have already had 2 sessions which are recorded, which you can find on the early adopters page, please visit the meetings section and you will see 2 sessions that were held in February and then in April and in May, where our technical experts were precisely explaining how to consume and how to use tools that are for you to facilitate understanding of how to interact with EBSI. Now we went a step forward because we see that we need to, in order to increase adoption, provide more complete solutions, which are more hands-on and guiding through the different processes and different business scenarios, user journeys that are possible to achieve using API services. And we have prepared a first draft of early adopters demonstrator. This will be a topic for upcoming OMB that will take place next week on Wednesday. We have common meetings with all of the conveners and also EBP representatives in order to discuss and align our view on particular components that we are producing. And as soon as we will get a green light to publish this and allow it to be available through the early adopters page, we will definitely give it. So what I want to say is that we already have a set of tools that you can use today. You can refer to the recordings that were performed 2 or 3 times, depending on how deep you want to go. And you can find those recordings on the early adopters page. And we are going to provide even more. Now, of course, there are different initiatives under, for example, Next Generation Internet CEF Lab, which are also trying to open source some toolkit that could even more facilitate some actions. And this is also something that we are going to discuss the next OMB. What will be the approach of allowing to use them towards all of the early adopters. So here I just want to reassure you that everything you need in order to understand how the services are working is already provided, and you can find it on the early adopters page. If you still struggle, we have a support office ready to help you. There is a specific page where you can ask a question and we will reach you out. Taking opportunity, I would like to introduce my colleague, Maxine Lem, who will coordinate the multi-university pilot, more from the stakeholder management part and also communication part. Together with my help on the technical side, we will try to provide you as much support as it's required to deliver this multi-university pilot.
Okay, thank you, Robert. I have shared indeed those recordings that we already do. Please check them out. There was also presentations on this. And as Robert mentioned, we'll be providing you more guideline. But maybe indeed, as Robert mentioned, I see that Maxine is also present. Maybe Maxine, take the opportunity to briefly introduce yourself, because indeed, as Robert has mentioned, you will be also playing a more coordinating role, stakeholder coordinating role, and helping us. So thanks for that. Maxine, I don't know if you can say a few words, introduce yourself, and welcome to this project.
Great.
Yes.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. It's my first week on the job, so my IT is still not completely sorted. Some issues here and there, but it's very nice to meet all of you. I'm Maxine. I've just joined the team with Robert. Together, we'll be looking at the EBSI project at the European Commission within Digit. Very nice to meet you, Daniel, as well. I'm sure we'll be hearing from each other. I have a marketing, service design, and project management background, and I'm very excited to help you guys get off the ground. And that's all I'll say for now, because there's nothing more to add.
Okay, thank you, Maxime, and good luck in this journey. And happy to have you. Okay, so it's not a direct question, Mirko and others on this set, but check out the information, and I think you will be finding out a lot of available resources in this. Huh? Okay. But of course, it is not the only questions. What are other questions when you have explored the information? There are a lot of things. Maybe things were not clear or you had some concerns or certain things. So floor is open. I see Mikel popping up, so maybe I need to give you the floor, Mikel.
Hi. Yeah, thank you very much for your time and for all this great presentation. Just one question, maybe it's not a technical question, but you mentioned before this agreement between the German government and the Spanish government about implementing an SSI solution. And I just wanted to know if everything we are doing is aligned with this project or if it's an independent project or how are we going to work together or coordinate with this government initiative, because at the end, from my side, I'm from the Open Government of Catalonia. We're in the government side, and we should try to make sure that we are interoperable between all the initiatives.
Okay, maybe Luis, you can answer that. I know from Spain side it's okay. With Germany we have still some work, but Luis.
Okay, I think that at least as far as I know, because of course I'm not a Spanish representative from the government, but as far as I know, from the Spanish side, the alignment with EBSI CEF is a must. So as far as your project will align with ESIF, will we also be aligned with the wheels of Spain in that coalition. But I think that it's something that maybe Pierre, you can add something to that. But I think that the wheel is just to align things.
Okay. Just one question more. So I'm sorry for the tricky question, Luis, because I didn't want you to put you in under pressure. But I have to answer to my my bosses, and they saw this news, and of course they raised few questions. Is there SSI project in Germany right now in live in production?
Not in production, but in advanced piloting phase. So they have released recently the hotel check-in use cases, and that was the first showcase. I don't know if that's production, pre-production. I presume more pre-production. And now with Spain, they want to explore more use cases aspect. We are in very close collaboration and dialogue with the people from Germany, but also from Netherlands and Italy, who are also putting that. But the main aspect was that now with those two countries having the political support, it gets to another dimension, where here we're working with individual project. There they have now the full political support, and now we need to see they are very open to collaborate on this, and we are open. So we have the same ambition, the same aspect. So whatever technical solution there is, that is not that important. And I think we need to align on the concept. And that is something that we, in a few months, we'll try to see how we have a clear position of EBSI towards those kind of things. But it's, I think, the same aspect. I don't know, Pierre, we already addressed it, but if you want to say something on this.
No, I can just confirm what has been said by Luis and you, Daniel, that indeed we should see this new initiative that I cannot comment because I have not yet access to the document, but like you, I've heard about it, and it's in a way something which is welcome because it shows additional commitment from two major countries in Europe. But it's clear that, as stressed by Daniel, we want to continue our collaboration. And but what I would like to stress is that the big challenge for the blockchain communities is that we can propose solution based on blockchain and based on EBSI as solution for this new EU ID wallet, and this is where we see as a good opportunity to have through this agreement between Spain and Germany, the fact that we have countries that commit a bit more on the opportunity to test for those solutions. For the rest, as it is said by Daniel, when we will keep close cooperation with them, and we'll see how we can integrate their solution or complement their solution, or maybe benchmark different solution in the context of the EBSI initiative. But it's we take it as a very good opportunity to move forward for let's say proposing new ways and innovative ways to provide for EU alert identification based on blockchain, and we see a role for EBSI in this process. So that's what I can comment at this stage.
Okay.
Thank you very much. I think that's enough for now.
Thank you, Michael, for that strategic question. It's also welcome. Other questions that don't need to be on the political aspect of the strategical level, can also be lower end functional or technical questions. Our technical experts are here present, Marc-Antoine and others, and the domain experts. So take the opportunity if you have questions, things that you didn't understand or have concerns on. Anyone? Everything clear?
Questions, no, it's not clear.
Okay. Yeah, happy. Jonas, go on.
Actually, when we build the wiki, if it's okay, if I can maybe come back to the wiki page and the same template. Everything that is above the data model, it's pretty clear that it's about how you manage the project, etc. But when we come to the data, models, schemas, etc., there are a bunch of questions. Most likely, those are related to the wallet solution that we might use, or maybe the way how we authenticate or know our users or describe our users. Because I think schema.org is more generic one, and it fits everyone's lives or no one's, but I'm not sure which URIs to use here in this template. Or maybe we leave it as this and wait for the wallet solution, or at least when we will know about wallet solution, in that way we will know what we need to fill out in there.
So here, taking opportunity from to be able to answer this question, and of course, Marc-Antoine and Alan helped me with complementing it further. So we have progressed significantly when it comes to data modeling exercise during recent days. We use opportunity of summertime to focus on some particular very important aspects that are foundation of verifiable credential exchange. And we have published the first version of the schemas. We have also registered the first version of schemas in the trusted registry schemas. And those are, of course, the first version, and we are open for your contribution, for your feedback regarding the schemas that we will share. I think we should provide the links on chat or refer to the point in the early adopters page. If you will go to the early adopters page and then to the meetings, there was last week or 2 weeks ago, I don't remember well because the time is flying by very fast in EBSI, regarding the JSON schema, and then there is a child's page which is showcasing the planning of things that are required to establish the verifiable credentials exchange, and then you will find links to particular repository where you will be able to find those models. And yeah, so Alan or Marc-Antoine, if you could put, yeah, the link is already there. So you should have an access and you can take a look. And of course, as I said, it's a first version, first draft, ready for you to provide your feedback, provide your contribution. Why it is so important? Because this will become a base for the exercise that we are currently starting, is the compliance testing, EBSI compliance testing scenario for wallet implementers. So instead of waiting for the wallet that will take some time to deliver, we want to provide first, together with you, of course, a first compliance scenario, testing scenario that will allow to say that the wallet implementers are EBSI ESIF compliant. So this is something we are now currently working on. And for that, we need to really establish a first version of schema, at least for the multi-university pilot purposes. So we will be able to cast the testing scenario for compliance testing scenario for the wallet implementation that will be EBSI ESIF compliant in order to deliver the multi-university pilot. So that's also that will also be a part of a discussion for upcoming OMB meeting to discuss it with all of the conveners and EPP representatives, as we need to take some decisions there that are important, based of course also on your input and contribution to that.
Okay, thank you, Robert. Alan or Marc-Antoine, do you want to add something, more technical details on that? Indeed, you have shared the link, so thanks for that. Alan, Marc-Antoine, do you want to?
Yeah, hi. So with Marc-Antoine, we created the first JSON schema drafts that are published in the chat. So the link to the repository is published in the chat. It is a first draft, and let's say domain expert will review it as soon as he's back from his holiday. So by end of August, all these schemas will be complete and ready to use. They are already deployed on the Trusted Schemas registry, and if required, they will be updated accordingly. So you will be able to use the links also in the credentials to and to validate the schemas presented here.
What is also important to add is that we didn't come up with those schemas out of the blue. They are one-to-one based on the ESIF specifications, technical specifications that are available on the early adopters page. So that's the exercise we've done to provide the JSON schema and fulfill the trusted registries in order to unlock a situation for issuing and registering trusted issuers and linking those schemas to a given trusted issuer, and then of course unlock the possibility to validate issue the verifiable credential based on those.
And those specifications are also indeed very important that you receive your feedback. I am very happy that I don't name one somebody very concrete. Marcus is also providing our feedback on this, not only at technical level, on strategic level, how we should proceed with this. So different vendors are looking at this. This is also, I don't see our specification as the final specification. It is also a market checkup to see how we are aligned. So I think Marcus is also in close dialogue with Alan and with Marc-Antoine to do this, and with other aspects. So that is also the model that we want to see. Don't see this as final specification. See this as call for review and call for input. And I think Robert and his team is very open to have that. But of course, we need to provide something that you can already use at this moment.
So it's important that, of course, there are long-term goals, short-term goals, and mid-term goals. Our main goal is to deliver and prove that we are mature enough to provide the full verifiable exchange credential capabilities. To do this, we need to, in this short term, for the multi-university pilot, decide on the way we will exchange the information. To visualize that and to make it real, and to highlight the cross-border context of what we are doing. So here, of course, for the sake of pilot, we need to progress fast and we need to decide rather quickly in order to be in line with the ambitious planning that we have put in place. But of course, for establishing production grade solutions, we need to find out the midterm and long-term goals that will fulfill the requirements of all member states and other projects initiatives.
Okay, thank you, Robert. Louis, maybe I see also some questions from Erik in the chat. An obvious one, the link with the EDCI, XML, and Europass.
Okay, so so for achieve learning outcomes, the data model that has been adopted, agreed by member states and adopted in the diploma use case is just that. It's the Europass. Before it was called the Europass Digital Credentials Infrastructure Data Model. Now it's called the Europass Learning Model. But it's just that, and what EBSI will do or is doing is serializing in JSON the existing XML serialization and Digemployment. There was an agreement between Digemployment and DigiConnect and Digit. So Digemployment will update and maintain both in the future XML and JSON serializations. But and that's why I also asked before to maybe to Jonas, I don't remember, to provide the examples that you want to accredit today, just as they are today, and we will provide the translation or the serialization in JSON according to the JSON specifications that has been shared right now. Okay, but that's for achievement. That's the point. And maybe also complementing the question from Jonas. As you will see, the provided examples for JSON are for legal entities, are for natural person, are also for achievement outcomes. But we also still need to work on the, and I think that you were maybe specifically asking for that, Jonas, for the course, multi-university course for the pilot. And we also need your feedback about that. I think we talked about that on our last meeting. There are several options that we can do or adopt. Of course, to authenticate the students and for onboarding the students on the use case, we have two main options. First one, for those projects and initiatives that also are working on a CEF on identity and verifiable IDs. One option is to ask for that verifiable ID to the student, and once checked, then just provide to the student, onboard the student on the diploma use case and provide some student ID, maybe. The other option is just to perform a traditional authentication, an authentication by traditional means, with those that the university has also, because the universities are existing in universities, because the university knows who the student is. So previously, he has performed an identity check with high level of insurance, and then the university can provide also that student ID to the student. So we have two options for onboarding the students, depending if you are also working on the CEF use case or not. And then we also need to provide that student ID. And the student ID, as you also know, we have two options. The more traditional approach, that could be the European Student Card project, and the new tendency or the new approach, that is the My Academic ID approach. And I think that we need
maybe
to
Louis,
also
we can also share
that
where that from. I think that you have also in the wiki listed up that the possibilities. so that we can also share and can have. So you have indeed different opportunities. Different people are working on the schemes that are needed. If you go into verified identity or go into student ID, both options are available also in this journey. Yeah. So maybe also coming back to the people, the colleagues of Impulse project, where they will want to reach out on the verified IDs and the identification. That is possible, but you can have also another track where you have indeed a more lower level of assurance, like student ID, depending on your case.
Substantial
But
level of
what?
assurance.
Yeah, sorry.
Substantial.
Depending on the country, yeah. Depending on the country.
Depending on yeah. But
So
that's something that is interesting to also to share and to discuss about that. But yeah, that kind of things are the ones that we also need to take or to be aware of.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Janos, for the question. So to bring up a lot of interesting aspects. So other questions? I see that Alfred has now a question: is the DID for students off the table? Not really. If you mean
by off the table,
Alfred, maybe you can reach out.
Yes, we at BC Diploma we thought about implementing a student wallet with its own decentralized ID to register to EBSI. And since you are evoking a different ID usable for the student, I wanted to make sure that our solution would be implementable in the EBSI solution.
No, but that is, to be clear, the DID is the very, very first step. You need that. And then we'll attach the other means of really knowing, assuring, okay, that is really that student, that attribute. So you need to have more things. So no, it's not off the table. It's the very first step. So
Okay,
your diploma.
okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Like I did, if I can make that aspect, you are now also working in CEF Labs, I know, working on that link between adding other verified identities and that. So that's the same approach. So that is an option.
What
Okay.
is also very important to mention is that for the, at least for the sake of multi-university pilot, that's also a question towards Luis and Daniel, but I guess it's a question with the answer already, is that we are focusing only on the CEF business flows, CEF compliant business flows. So it means that the DID indeed is a foundation of those flows. So this needs to be clear, because that reflects all of the processes from issuing, from onboarding, issuing, storing, and also verifying. So it's very important to be aligned that
it's
what
indeed
we
a
will do.
very fundamental thing, because we had in wave one a project was not completely aligned, and we had some discussion, and maybe we need to have that with our project, where we can find synergy and touch point. At a certain moment, we require some fundamental things that you need to provide. We cannot go into the full hybrid modus, accepting everything. That is not possible. So if you see that those things are emerging and you have doubts with that, but I think referring again, the Impulse project has also done that. We had some concerns, maybe to see, okay, what is the difference? Please reach out to us to see where we can find a solution, and hopefully not find a breaking point. But of course, the concept is not that open and not that freely that you can do anything. We have some, of course, some fundamentals and standards, and that's I think what Robert is.
Exactly, Daniel. And here we really need to kind of separate what is in the context of the multi-university pilot on pre-production environment, and what will be in the future mid and long-term solutions, because we already see and we already progressing on the interconnection with other networks and with other identity providers. However, in order to prove that we are mature enough and able to support the verifiable credentials exchange, we need to go and present it towards the member states and towards policymakers and other colleagues, to show them that the blockchain technology is mature enough to support initiatives such a digital wallet.
Okay, thank you, Robert. Other questions?
Yes.
Yeah, go on.
It is about verification. As Robert said, that there is difference in the pilot phase and the production phase. And I have interrogations about what makes a credential verifiable and valid in the pilot phase, because I've been asking support about accreditation process, and I've been answered that it was not mandatory for the pre-production. And this led me to ask myself which verification I need to implement in pre-production in order to validate my credentials and make sure they are on track, and which will be required later.
That's a very good question, and here I would ask for help Marc-Antoine and Alan, as they are more technical, because there are several parts for the verification process that we have established. Now, I think they know the best which one we supposed to use as a baseline for the pilot.
May I, Robert, add something before the technical side? For production or in pre-production, to register a trusted issuer, there's no requirement to have the Trusted Accreditation Organization registered. But for production, it's a must. That means that for production, you won't be able to register a trusted issuer without the trusted issuers won't be able to issue a verifiable attestation if they don't have the verifiable accreditation that was issued by the Trusted Accreditation Organization. So a higher education institution, to be able to issue, for example, EQF level 7 diplomas, they need a verifiable accreditation from a Trusted Accreditation Organization to be able to register them by themselves in the Trusted Issuer Registry with its DID, of course, but also with that access and granting access from the Trusted Accreditation Organization for that specific type of education. So it's a must to be able to issue a specific type of or level of education to be accredited, and that accreditation must come from a Trusted Accreditation Organization in production environment. I don't know if it also helps to understand the point.
Yeah, that was clear to me, but in the current state, I'm still waiting for the accreditation schema and so on. So it was clear to me that for now it cannot be implemented at the moment. But yeah, it's clear that the accreditation will be needed later. But since there is a difference, I was wondering if there were any other in the current state. Because at some point we will need to verify the accreditation, but we will need to verify the signature, we will need to verify the schema and everything. And I would just like to have an exhaustive view of all the verification we are supposed to implement and validate.
Okay, maybe Alan, you already mentioned that in the chat. I see that some more extensive documentation will be published on that. If you refer to that, Alan, maybe you can also answer something. Okay, context, Alfred.
Yeah, okay, so in the chat I shared a link to let's say a collection of scripts or a tool that can be used to interact with EBSI APIs. Now with regards to the validation, so question you have is more of like a business nature, so it's related to the business requirement of the use case. So there, maybe Luis can help. It still needs to be better define what is acceptable to not verify in the pre-production phase, like for example the accreditation. So I guess this maybe Luis, if you can say a few more words on that, because technically there will be no difference between pre-production and production, but the business flows in production will require a bit more work and validation in order to be compliant.
Yeah, no, you're right. It's just what I said from a business perspective, and of course that accreditation schemas that you have a first draft also available in the early adopters space, and that must also be translated, but to the JSON specification. And I think that maybe also the most important change from pre-production to production will be related to that, but that's that way of check, automatic check, and being able to automatic check and validate things, moving to the schemas, points to the potential evolution of what's provided right now for EBSI 2.0, that's JSON, and for production, but that's something that needs to be, as Robert said, needs to be discussed and next one be. For production, what's foreseen is that we will move to JSON LD, so we will have also an automatic way to check if things are compliant or not with the specifications and so on. Sorry, on a more universal way, and that will have impact also for the wallet providers and so on. But from a business perspective, I think that the verified accreditation specs are also available, needs to be translated to JSON, but are available also in the early adopter space, together with the diploma that also must be extended with the specification that Jerry provided last week. So now what the URLs that have been shared, you'll have some examples, but now they must be extended, and that's something that our domain expert in diplomas, Anthony, will do starting next week, I think, with the examples that have been provided by Austria, by Spain, by Germany. All Wave 1 early adopters have provided existing diplomas examples that now will be translated into JSON with the existing specifications.
To complement what Luis said, indeed, one of the points that we will discuss on the very next week on Wednesday is to set down the minimum set of requirements for the multi-university pilot on the pre-production environment, and of course, the verification is a part of it. I think that the baseline will be to check whether the verifiable presentation has been issued by the user who control the deed. This is of course a no-brainer, because then we need to check up if the verifiable credential that has been issued was issued for that particular deed. So then we will also need to check, I guess this is something that we will decide together with all of the conveners, if we need to verify the trusted issuer registry, so trusted registries, in order to see if the trusted issuer was entitled to issue a given type of a verifiable credential, and also to check the schema of that credential. And at the end, in order to complete with assuring the integrity of the document, we will check the signature. So it's, I think, 4 elements at this stage. We will discuss it, of course, early next week, and I think we need to establish those minimum technical and minimum requirements for the pilot very soon to provide it at latest by the end of August. So from the September, everyone knows what to do with all of the technical means provided, with additional toolbox and libraries.
Okay, maybe pick into that last thing that you mentioned, the toolbox. Eric was asking the question on, okay, how will the building blocks and the tooling be available? But it's also something that we'll come back to you after the discussion on B. What kind of tooling can we provide that you indeed need to have not have thrown away your solutions, that they are compliant and that you know what is happening on this. So Erik will be coming back on that with the things that Robert already mentioned. Okay, other questions? So for Alpha, this was clear. For Erik also.
There
Other
was
things?
one,
Yeah.
a small one
Yeah.
regarding the
Go on.
wallet. Regarding the wallet solution, I see the majority, I think, uses Gataka as the wallet solution. Are there any other vendors
Yes,
as if
yes,
compliant? And also there's a question regarding the price, or is it for free or not? And also
you have some open source solutions, some commercial. To be clear, we have no links with any solution there is. So I think you need to do this with your own context. Check the pages that the Wave 1 people have done. You will find a lot of solutions there, from Basic Diploma to Gataka to Danube Tech. Reach them out, but at your own inspiration and view, try to see what is best suited.
Yeah.
At this moment, I think maybe Robert, we are working on some time of official conformance and things, but that will not be released in very short term. So a more long-term aspect. Yeah.
So here I've already mentioned that we've started this exercise, and of course the foundation is to establish the baseline for the exchange of verifiable credentials in order to be able to build the conformance testing. And we are, I think, close to do it. We should work on the set of verifiable credential schemas that we will use for the multi-university pilot, and ideally end up it during August. So from September, you will know what are the requirements to provide the pilot. And then, of course, in parallel, there are several tracks going on with that. We currently struggling a little bit with the resources, but as soon as we will move towards the DEP, we are launching the interoperability track that will be extension of conformance testing. So the main point is to establish a scenario that will be open for everyone or for early adopters at first stage, and organizations that are involved in early adopters program. So anyone in that particular program will be able to see if he is able to deliver a wallet that will be compliant with the CEF and EBSI. So that's our aim, and I think this part for the wallet providers will be finalized by the end of August. So we'll provide a scenario that the first scenario, of course, because this will always evolve and evolve and evolve. It's like a continuous ongoing process. The first scenario that will allow wallet implementers to be sure that they are EBSI CEF compliant, and that the wallet is able to be used on pre-production.
Okay, I hope that also answers your question, Thierry, on benchmarking. That's something that we'll be providing. Erik has more a general question on web wallet versus mobile wallet. That's also an interesting one. I don't know, Alan or Marc-Antoine, do you want to say something about it, or Robert?
Alan replied in the chat.
Yeah, I mean, in general, browser environments are considered as like highly insecure. So I mean, for the purpose of demo and testing is of course fine, but thinking of some, let's say, substantial or high assurance or some production grade wallets, browser environments are not recommended.
Okay, maybe Marcus, what's your opinion on this? I have also a great view on this. If you're still in the call, I know.
Or people from BC Diploma. Or...
it is a market in evolution, of course, and a highly advancing thing. So things can be speeding up, but we'll see. Of course, like Alan has mentioned that you need to take security, of course, and into consideration and other aspects, and also the managing of keys and all those aspects that also come into that aspect. And as Miguel has mentioned, the compliancy with, or Eric, the compliancy with the IDAS wallet will be also something that will be coming. Okay.
I raised the question because, yeah, I think on one side I'm aware of one wallet that works, but it's not open source. As some of the other providers we talk to are more going towards web wallet, at least in the short term. There seems to be some Android app that might come up later in the year. So I think it's more a compromise how to be able to move forward, potentially with a web wallet, but still aiming a mobile wallet in the mid or in the long term. So that's where I wanted to hear your opinions. If there's other projects that wonder a bit the same, and how they manage to decide what they are using, let's say, for this year's efforts, while in the long term they might switch to other solutions.
Yeah, it's also depending on your use case, of course. There's a bit a weak answer to always say depending, but yeah, if you want to have highly security cases, high level of assurance cases, then certain wallet will not provide. Maybe for other cases they will be suitable. So it's also depend. And indeed, like Santi has mentioned in the chat, it is also look good, and Robert has also mentioned that, to see what kind of solutions are coming also from the SF labs. They are now progressing into the infrastructure call wave round 3 and the business call round 2, and a lot of things. Some publicity is allowed, of course, Santi, like the validated ID things is also available. So use them, check them out. It's also for us very important. How compliant are we with different solutions? We are not only saying to them, you need to be compliant with us. It's also giving us back feedback, and it's something that we do with Marcus and other people to see, okay, the specification that we have written, how are vendors looking at those kind of things, and do we need to change certain things? So it's a dialogue in this. Sorry,
Yeah.
Eric, it doesn't make it more easy, but this is still the evolution and depending. Okay, we are in pre-production, so we allowed a bit more testing, and then we need to see within a half year how we can go into production with maybe different and more security tools.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but may I also just to add something. It's also a good opportunity just to test and validate solutions for both, for us, the pilots, and also for the providers. That's, for example, what Spain and the higher education institutions, the universities are doing. We have an agreement with a commercial provider just to test their technology, and it's also a good opportunity for them just to be CEF compliant, to be clear.
Or use multiple. Okay, it makes a bit more complexity. I know that Kai Leuven, if you allow me, Jan, we're also discussing, okay, we're going to work with that vendor, but maybe also with that other vendor. Or the Netherlands looking at a different solution, because as governments, they don't want to be just only using Gattaca and linking them with Gattaca, to mention one, but also looking at, okay, we provide a generic solution. So it's up to citizen to decide what he wants to use as the best solution. So that's
it's just a matter of resources.
Okay. Indeed. But the diversity is welcome. So let not be saying that you all need to use that wallet. That is a bit would be a pity. So let us have multiple wallets that can have it. Hopefully European based. Not everybody comes with the Facebook wallet, to mention it, but have also opportunities for your local and European solution providers. There's also a secondary aim that we want to also to see. Okay. I'm looking at the time, so we are nearly closing the session. So I don't know if there are other urgent questions or things that you want to share. Don't be afraid to ask a question. It's a safe harbor. So there are no stupid questions. No things that you can be expected to ask. If you have questions that you are not comfortable to asking in this group, use, of course, the different channels that you have. Reach out. That you have heard that several people are doing that. So we are always happy to answer the question. We are in the full exploration phase. So please use those things. And if you need to have a more individual approach, let us know. And we can try to arrange certain things. Certainly if you have more structural aspects in this. Okay.
Maybe a small question from
Yeah,
Jan
of
from
course.
KU Leuven.
Yeah, thank you.
Marc-Antoine and Alan explained to me how to be registered as a trusted issuer in the pre-production phase. Thank you for that. But to see if I understand the technical documentation good, is afterwards will we be receiving an EBSI verifiable authorization when we are registered?
Marc-Antoine?
So Jan, the technical process, we will just add. So first, you will on a self-sovereign way, thanks to the test script that you can use, you will generate your own bit and controlling key, and you will need to register it on EBSI. So these things on the DIT registry, you do it on your own, and this is the requirement before you as a legal entity having a DIT can be registered on the EBSI Trusted Issuer Registry. So when you have done the first steps, you provide to the support your DIT, and they will simply add in the Trusted Issuer Registry your DIT. They will provide you they will insert you, and from that moment, after you can consume the API from the EBSI Trusted Issuer Registry for your DIT and add any accreditation you want. So those are two different steps. The first one, so really the onboarding, creating your DIT, receiving an EBSI authorization. This you can do it on a sovereign way, so you don't need an authorization for the pre-prod from nobody. So you just follow the steps in the test script, and I know there is a wiki page coming on to be even more clear. You will be able to do it alone, so you don't need the CEF support or nor the technical team support. This is fully self-sovereign action.
But to complement, and this is what Luis already said, that on production you will need to follow a strict onboarding process for the Trusted Accreditation Organization that will issue a specific verifiable credential, which will be a verifiable accreditation credential for the trusted issuers. But for the sake of the pilot and pre-production, we noticed that this step might be cumbersome at this stage, and therefore we have simplified the onboarding process for this part. However, if you are interested in, we should explore it and probably even try to issue verifiable accreditation for the trusted issuer to have the full view on the onboarding process.
Yeah, we are definitely interested, but as the proposed timeline is very strict, in the first phase, we want just to be registered like Alan and Marc-Antoine very good explained via mail. And it's
No, be indeed realistic about the things. No, but reach out, Jan, towards Marc-Antoine if you have any other questions or support question aspect. Okay.
Thanks again.
Thank you, Jan. Okay. I see that's also in the chat. Alliances are being built, so very happy to see that and explore the things. Okay. If there are no further other questions or urgent questions, I'm gonna move to the last slide and just a summary of the next steps, if that's okay. Okay, so we have now concluded the Q&A. I hope it was. Oh, sorry, it was not sharing already. Yeah.
Sharing, yeah.
Okay, sorry. So we are now closing that session on the this beginning of August. We'll be having another Q&A session on the 24th of August, where we also discuss more in detail the template. So I hope that everybody finds the time to still explore all the documentation and also fill in further the template, so we can reach some agreements. We'll do also a bit an assessment on this. An assessment is not things, but we'll try to see what kind of synergies and what kind of gaps that we have, that we see what how we can plan the next design phase, where we'll be also planning that kickoff aspect, and then go towards the design workshop that we'll do today. Hopefully, but depending on the situation, maybe we can do that on site and meet you all in person. If not, we'll be having that online aspect. So this session will be recorded, so the other people will be trying to see that. The other session will be also recorded, but if you have questions, please ask them in this session, or as I mentioned a few times, reach out to us to go into an individual basis. But we are now moving a bit, expecting your homework and the discovery phase to be more closed. Okay, so the last thing I would like to say before giving the floor maybe to Pierre to close the session. So thank you for present. Thank you for all the information and the enthusiasm to go into this project. I will be very grateful that you are spending time, you are exploring these things, that you are lying with us. So I think this is a perfect showcase. So Pierre, maybe you can, if Pierre is still on the call, Pierre, close that meeting.
Yes, many thanks to all of you for your participation, and many thanks to Daniel and Luis as conveners, and of course to Robert and all the team from EBSI. Nothing to add, simply to wish you a good journey with this early adopter program, and to count on your mobilization to progress here. It's very important for not only for the EBSI project as such, but also for the blockchain community, to demonstrate that we can contribute to new innovative solution for the exchange of credentials, but also for the new EU identity wallet. So I think you consider it as a great opportunity, and it's good that we can count on your mobilization. Many thanks for it, and have a good weekend, and maybe good holidays for those who have not yet taken it. That's it.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much. See you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Goodbye. Thank you.